So we're on our way to a wedding. I don't think how many weddings have we been to as a married couple? As a couple. It ain't been that many.
Nah,
It's not been
a
that
couple.
many. I mean, if you count my siblings, two. But no,
Another one.
we went to a vow renewal. We went to,
About four.
all right, about four. We've been married for going on 6 years. Only four weddings. But anyway, it's gonna be six this year. Anyway, so we thought it would be fun just to share our thoughts on some things we would have liked to have heard or things we did hear when we first got married that will, help a newlywed couple through their process. So, babe, what's one thing you would share with a newlywed?
I would say, first and foremost, be open and honest about, everything as far as the feelings. Lay it out on the table early. Don't wait. So that way, both of y'all can start right out the bat. You know, learning more about each other and, you know, um, what each other desires. You know, maybe the pet peeves. The things that you don't think about during dating. Think about. I don't know if you're not already living together. You're about to be living together for the first time, so a lot of things change when you're in the same space
Yes,
every day.
Lord.
You're not able to just run back to wherever you live, um, and come back when you out of hiding when you want to. You got to see each other and face each other every day. So I would say that lay everything out in the front, from the beginning, and that way y'all can start growing together. Like I said, right off the bat.
Yeah, I would say for us, when we first started dating, we didn't have too many trials and tribulations.
No.
I think we had a false sense of what marriage was going to look like based on how we was doing when we was dating. It was peachy keen. We really didn't have arguments. We had uncomfortable conversations, but that's just because you're trying to get to know the other person. But we didn't. But we didn't have, I would say, really any fights. And I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing, but when we got married, we had some trials and tribulations. And I think that's just because, I had never lived on my own outside of my freshman and sophomore year of college. Other than that, I was living with my parents up until we got married. And he was living, with his mom helping out, because she was a single mom by herself trying to make things work. And so he was trying to help out, and so we had never lived together. And so that was interesting. We each are in our own spaces virtually doing our own thing, and we get together. I'm seeing how he lives, he's seeing how I live, and it was interesting. It was interesting, and we're still, even now going into this 6th year, we learn something new about each other every single day. Things that we assume the other person might like that they don't like, and vice versa. Just stuff that didn't necessarily come up, when we got married. That's coming up now, and it was a learning process. It was, having to share a space with a man for me. Yeah, I lived at home, my dad and my brother, but I'm living with a man, my husband, and it was just different. It was different. So, long story short, have those tough conversations up front. Try to get to know each other as much as you can up front. You're going to constantly learn something about each other, but do the work up front. Don't wait until after you say I do to try to, what's your favorite color? No, don't do that then, because you're going to be in for a rude awakening. So that was good, babe. Another thing that I would share with the newlywed is don't set false expectations or do things because you think the other person wants you to be doing them. Like, as far as like women, when we first get married, and these are things that you should do, male or female. Make sure my house is clean. Make sure he the first one to eat. Got the biggest piece of chicken. Just doing things that's gonna in the end overwhelm you. If that's your thing, that's your thing. But don't try to do things to make yourself look like the perfect spouse. There is no such thing as a perfect spouse. You may be perfect for each other, but all of us got work to do. So don't set false expectations, because once you start doing those things, you got to keep doing those things, because if you don't, it's like, what happened? You mad at me? And it was just like, no, these are things I thought I was supposed to do as a spouse. So don't walk in giving false expectations of yourself.
That is definitely a good point. I would say, you can have your own expectations, what I want to do for my significant other, being in a marriage, but at the same time, be your authentic self, and that way, your significant other is learning how to adapt to and appreciate you for who you are. Because, like she said, when those things stop, or you miss a beat one day, it's like, hey, what's going on? This is what I thought this was, and it's not that. So that's definitely good.
Right. We're gonna do one more because these roads are like bumpy, and I didn't account for that when we started this video, but I wanted y'all to hear the message of what we're trying to say. But this interstate is not letting us be great. So
we can get to a piece. So we get two. I got a funny one real quick. This is for the fellas. If you think you're getting closet space, guess again, okay? Be prepared to get, I'd say a fourth of the closet space to none. So depending on dressers and what are those bins you can put your clothes in, come up with another routine. Maybe even the guest closet, but bedroom counts right there.
Oh my God! No, actually, that probably is accurate. That may not be everybody's story, because I've seen some men who, they love to dress, they love to shop, and their closets be bigger than the females. So that wasn't our story. But I have way too many clothes. I got stuff from high school, stuff that I'm hoping and wishing one day I can get back into. I gotta let it go. That's a whole nother topic, but we got to let stuff go. It's okay, to out with the old and with the new. I gotta do some serious decluttering, and we're expecting our I say our third child because we had a miscarriage, but we gotta declutter before this new baby gets here. It is not gonna be fair to that baby to be coming into that cluttered space. So we got work to do. Oh my gosh, they got some work to do on these roads, but we got work to do in that aspect. So, but yeah, closet space. Have the conversations now. Don't be surprised when y'all move in and all of her stuff then took up all of the master bedroom, and you stuck in the other bedroom, the little piece of closet that come with that room.
Brothers, grab your essentials and your favorites now, and the rest put in Goodwill bags. Goodbye.
All right, so he did one, so I'll do one more. Like I said, this video is gonna be super shaky, so apologies in advance. But I think another thing that would be helpful for newlyweds is to grow in God together. If you don't have God as the center of your relationship, you're already at a disadvantage. I'm a PK. George has been in church his whole life. Like, we've been in church our whole lives. But, we're still growing. There's nobody is the perfect Christian. We haven't made it yet. And so there's still work to do. And so while we're here and while we're together, growing together in God is going to be essential. Because as a husband, he's supposed to be leading his household in the things of God. And me, I'm an alpha woman, so it was very difficult, still is difficult for me to be led, quote unquote, because I always have, how I think things should go. But there's a blessing in allowing the man to be the man in that situation, and allowing him the opportunity to grow as the shepherd of the home, because he's not gonna get it right off the bat. He has to grow into that. And I can truly say, over the last almost 6 years, I have seen him grow more and more into that shepherd for our house. So grateful for that. But it's going to be very important. And we pray together. Read the word together, study the word together. Of course, attending church together with your family. Have discussions about the word, because there's some things that he grew up hearing that I grew up hearing that may be a little different. Have discussions about it. Make sure that wherever you come to in conclusion is biblical and not just based on, well, this is the way my church did it, this is the way my pastor told me, but just have those conversations, and just grow, because you want God to be in the midst of whatever you're doing. And if you're not, as a couple, consulting God on major decisions and just being prayerful, just being a student of the word, you're not going to go very far in that area. And so at the end of the day, we just want God to be pleased with us, be pleased with our marriage, and to continue to guide and lead us, in giving him a special grace to lead our family. So yeah,
I totally agree. I want to back up a little bit, piggyback on the part about her saying that she's an alpha woman. So even with that, there's ways around that, right? You can, I think it's very beneficial to have that, because like a lot of times she'll just go ahead and find solutions, and she knows something needs to be done, she just go ahead and do it. And with her being that way, she has learned over the years still. Like, one thing she always does, she consults me first before she makes the final click. She found something to order, or before she makes the final call or decision, she consults me, but she just gets something to do. And I think that's great. That's a great balance in a marriage. For any of you that come across that and deal with that, like, there's actually a lot of pros to that. You just have to learn how, like I said, how to mesh things and use both of your both of your strengths.
Yeah, your strengths, like where I may be strong, you may be weak. Where you may be weak, I may be strong.
But you're one now, so you learn how to mesh them together where they work for the marriage.
Yeah, I agree. Good job. So those are some tips we think that would help any newlywed, really any married couple, because these are ongoing things that you're gonna have to be doing. These are not and it's not a one size fit all. Every marriage is different. There's gonna be a lot of things that you may face. We didn't even cover all of that stuff, but you go through different things in life. The approach you may take may be different than something we may have done. And so said all that just to say, we just want to offer a bit of encouragement to any engaged couple that may be watching, somebody that's potentially seeking and desiring to be married, those that may have just gotten married. We hope that this little conversation that's been very shaky and bumpy has been helpful to you. But yeah, anything you want to say, babe?
Lastly, this could be part one. If let us know in the comments if you want to hear more.
Come on, let us know in the comments. See, I done trained him up. He's a social media husband.
I know the language, but let us know if you want to hear more. This could be part one. Definitely can share more, because I think it's very beneficial to hear from peers and from each other that are early in it and are still learning as we go.
Yeah. So we'll chat later. Bye.